Welcome back, my fellow collectors. I'm Calvin, aka Statue Fanatic, here with another review. And today we're going to take a look at another Diamond Select Gallery piece. And I want to say thank you to the amazing people over at Diamond Select who sent this sample out for me to review. In fact, this is of The Rocketeer. This piece has just started to hit comic book stores. I haven't even seen any reviews on YouTube of it yet, so that is pretty cool. It is out now. This was sculpted by, first of all, designed by Caesar and sculpted by none other than, you guessed it, Rocco Tartamaglia. And let's take a look at the box like we always do here. This Diamond Gallery Select box makes a really great display case as well as a box. And as you can see, it has all three windows, including the window box at the top. And on the back, there's something interesting I will point out. It talks about the Rocketeer back in the 1930s, where you had the pilot Cliff Secord. He found this rocket pack and then decided to experiment with it because he was going to be in this particular contest. But turns out this was some secret government project that the Russians were trying to get their hands on. And then, of course, you have spy, intrigue, love, all that kind of stuff. This is based on the 1991 Disney classic. That's almost 30 years ago. And also on the back of the box, it talks about this is approximately a 10-inch resin statue. No, it's not a resin statue. I think this is a misprint. It even says that it has 3,000 of these in the box. So I have seen that particular statement on all of their Marvel Premiere resin statues, and I'm pretty sure this is a PVC statue. But without further ado, let's get it out of the box and take a look at it. Here you have him out of the box. This is The Rocketeer, based on Disney's 1991 classic movie, and I will do it once around, as I always do, so you can get a complete view of the figure itself. There you go. And as you can see, you have Cliff Secord in a very, what I would call a dynamic pose. He is just click the clicker here. You can see that in his hand that ignites the alcohol in the suit. Huge blast of flames coming out of the back of it. It forms the base as he blasts off. Pretty awesome, right out of the movie. Very, very movie accurate in terms of what the movie looks like. And then as we talk about the design and the sculpt of this figure, Rocco, fantastic job, man. This looks really awesome. If some of you guys didn't know, I found out that, and I don't know if this piece is one of them, but a lot of the pieces that Rocco does for Diamond Select, he actually prints them himself, these digital sculpts. And this came out really, really fantastic. The sculpt on here is really on point. You can see this classic jacket that he wears. When I watched this movie years ago, I actually wanted to have this jacket because I thought the jacket was so cool. And then here you can see all the sculpt, the design, the layer of the jacket. Here you can see the zipper sculpted there at the top. You see he has these shoulder lapels here that are sculpted. Really nice there. Then as I go around his pants, same thing. You see lots of really cool sculpting in his pants, wrinkles and that type of thing. Down to his boots, same thing. You see where he has shoelaces there, and you see the leather type finish of the boot and also the jacket. And then the helmet, you go up to the helmet here, really nice sculpt on the helmet as well. You have this bronze type color on the helmet. He has those black eyes that are painted, and then you see some of the black markings that are on the helmet to give it this kind of worn look. That really adds a nice touch to the figure as well. This little rudder, and that's what it is, a rudder, because in the movie, based on how he turns his head, that's how he guides the device. But this rudder is rather plastic here in terms of it moves, but it's not going to break at all. Pretty cool there. And then the rocket pack itself on the back. Look at all those rivets and everything. Now there is an Easter egg on here. If you have watched the movie, you will know what I'm talking about. Remember when he crashed the first plane in the movie, he said he was chewing a piece of gum and he put it on the wing and he says, "For luck." Then his, I guess his crew guy took it off. The fellow inventor took it off, and then he was chewing gum again. And this is when he was going to rescue his girl from the Russian. He had a piece of gum, and the bullet that he had gotten into a fight, and the bullet ricocheted and put a hole in this particular jetpack. And so you can see where he has the piece of gum. That's right, little detail, piece of gum covering the hole to keep the fuel from leaking out. That comes important in the later part of the movie as well, because that little detail right there in terms of luck is how he basically gets rid of the bad guy. Well, if you haven't seen the movie, it's 30 years old. I just spoiled a whole lot of it for you. I am sorry. But if you look here, lots and lots of detail on this jetpack. Pretty cool stuff there. And then let's talk about the base. Yes, we'll talk about the base. Now, if you check out Rocco's Facebook page, you'll see that he has this. He talks about it just coming out this past week. He has the same piece, and he has slightly repainted it. And I really like the repaint that he did with his. I love the translucent material here. That looks pretty cool. And as you turn around, you can see these flames have all kinds of waves and sculpt in different tones and details and type of things like that in here. Now, as far as the paint application is concerned, you know, I've never had like really high over the top expectations when it comes to paint applications for Diamond Select figures, because they're so mass produced in a factory. But for the most part, I get really, really good figures. Now, this is one of the ones that actually stand out. The paint on here is really done well. As you look at the rocket on the back, the rocket pack, there's this gold part here. You can see the paint on the gum. You can see all of the shading with the paint on this silver metal rocket with the rivets and everything. The tone and detail on that looks really nice. And then also his jacket, for example, there is like a ton of shading in his jacket, and you see the gold rivets are painted really nicely. Nothing on here is like going to be 100% perfect. I don't even think those really expensive statues are perfect, but this is done really well. And then as you look at the paint on his hands, the little gloves that he has where he's gonna hit the actuator or the starter of this thing looks good. And I will point out there was one or two areas on here where, I don't know, it could have been where it was rubbing in the packaging right here on his shoulder. You can see that little flaw right there, but Rocketeer fans, you're gonna love this. I'm not sure if Disney is producing a sequel to this movie or not, because out of the blue, there's this. They're producing a resin statue of the Rocketeer. Rocco has sculpted a bust of the Rocketeer. There's a Diamond Select action figure, I think, of the Rocketeer, all from the 1991 movie. So I'm wondering if this is coming out because there is going to be a sequel, which would be nice because I like the movie. There's not a whole lot else that I can say about this other than if you're a Rocketeer fan, this is definitely a really, really cool pickup. And you guys can see how well this would display. This would be great as a resin statue or as a quarter scale statue. In fact, Sideshow released a quarter scale Rocketeer that I contemplated getting years and years ago, and I never did get it. But now it is so out of the price range that I would pay for it. But they did a really good job with theirs too. But again, shout out to my friends over at Diamond Select for sending this to me. And like I always say, collect what you like and not the hype, and you will find your collecting journeys will bring you tons of joy, like owning a really cool piece like this. So until next time, my friends, peace.